Story 1. Well then, here's a bit of backstory on yours truly. I've been working bar security, also known as a bouncer, at the same establishment for about 3 years. If you ever want to know what it's like to be a bouncer, think daycare but at night. And instead of small children, it's adults who revert to childlike behavior when intoxicated or even when not intoxicated. Anyhow, this night is much like any other. There's a popular local band playing, so we've got a decent crowd. The team is keeping their eyes open for anyone passed out, being belligerent, using illicit substances, the works. I'm standing by the door to the bar area of the building. The way this place works is it's basically cut in half, with one half being a pool hall and the other a bar entertainment area separated by a wall with a door on either end. I stand by this door a lot because I can easily keep track of both rooms at the same time without needing to walk all around the place. There's a gentleman sitting near the door where I'm at, and there's a couple sitting at the bar across the way. The woman is well known for acting out when she's intoxicated. From what we could see on the cameras inside, she walks over to the gentleman by the door and starts trying to flirt with him. This guy has come into the bar for years and never has he raised a hand to anyone for any reason. He's a professionally trained boxer, doesn't drink excessively, and doesn't generally close out the bars. He rejects her advances, and she becomes noticeably upset. She proceeds to run over to her partner and tell him that this guy has disrespected her and called her names. The gentleman ushers her partner over and kindly asks him to make this woman leave him alone. Before the conversation starts, though, the partner grabs this guy by the collar and starts driving him towards the wall. Well, chaos ensues as they didn't realize that he came with his 20 friends. He throws a couple of jabs at the partner and the woman because she decided she wanted in on this brawl. The boxer punches her so hard he literally folds her bottom row of teeth back into her mouth. This all happens in the span of about 10 seconds, so the security team jumps in and gets everyone separated. The couple gets taken outside, but we haven't called the authorities because generally that's a last resort. So we're outside, this lady is bleeding from her mouth, and the partner is visibly angry. She keeps asking me to call the authorities, but I keep telling her that's a bad idea considering her partner put his hands on the guy first, but she's not having it. So I called the police. I can't describe how difficult it was not to laugh in this lady's face as she witnessed the officers put her partner in handcuffs and not the guy who punched her. She said something that I'll never forget, and I wish I had it on recording. This is why we don't call the darn cops. I very nonchalantly reminded her that it was her idea to call the police in the first place. I didn't see them again until about a year later. She had to get her whole bottom row of front teeth pretty much fixed and still hasn't changed in the slightest. What a night. When I said the boxer doesn't drink, I meant that he doesn't drink to the point of passing out or throwing up. He'll have a couple of beers here and there, but that's it. My perception of the drinker has expanded quite a bit when I started seeing just how much someone will pour down their throat in the span of a couple of hours. Story 2. I saw another post that was kind of similar to this, so I figured I'd share my story too. In 2019, my wife and I welcomed our first child into the world, and as a baby shower gift, my father, who lives on the other side of the country, wanted to buy us a crib. Obviously, the easiest way to do this was to order from a popular online retailer, so that is what he did. The total came out to something like $650 plus free shipping. My wife and I were the ones to select which crib we wanted, and my father had no issue with the price. My dad orders it from his account, shipped to my address. So the crib shows up, they drop it at the base of our driveway, and we have about 15 steps up to our front door. That box is heavy, probably around 500 pounds, and it's just me and my pregnant wife. Well, it's mostly me, but we get it in and we spend a day building it and go on with our lives. But as advertisements do what advertisements do, my phone was bombarded with ads for cribs, including the one my father just bought us less than 2 weeks ago, and surprise, surprise, it's gone on sale for $430. So I contact the retailer, let them know what's going on and ask if they have a 30-day price guarantee. I figured there was no reason to tell my dad he could have saved $220 if he wasn't able to get the money back. Now, because it was over $200, they couldn't just do a refund, but said that we could return the crib and order a new one. Unfortunately, we've already built the crib and can't return it, so they told us to order a new one. And when that crib comes in, return the old one and get the refund. I made sure to ask about return shipping, and they said that it would be covered as the item has free shipping, and I saved the transcript of our conversation. So that's what we start to do. I contact my dad, he puts a new order in, and we wait for the box to arrive. Similar situation, the heavy box was left at the edge of my driveway, but this time, the weather was pretty crappy and the box got ruined. I took photos of it sitting at the curb and then moved it inside. I let my dad know, and he contacts the retailer and then gets an email providing the return address and instructions on how to return, including a blank, affix postage here spot on the label. Back to talking to customer support, and they're very sorry and look into it. Apparently, shipping on this crib is like $350. I'm sitting there with 2 cribs and proof that the retailer said they'll cover the return shipping, so like $1,050 in shipping, all for what amounts to a $430 crib. So they told us to keep it and refunded the original purchase of $650. My sister lived a few hours from me, and she and her husband were looking at starting to try for kids. So she got herself a crib as a baby shower gift from my dad too. Story 3. This just happened, and my bosses and I are still laughing. We are a small information technology company. We manage quite a few clients, though. This one gentleman at one of our busier client sites says that he's tired of being told his emails never arrived. We look it up, and yes, a couple of legitimate emails got tangled up in the spam filter. No big deal. We whitelist the sender and release the message. No, not good enough for this guy. He calls back shouting, "I order you to let any email addressed to me come to my inbox." I advise him that I'm going to have to transfer him to information technology security, and he's going to have to, on a recorded line, say he understands and accepts responsibility for various consequences. See, I did that because these guys get thousands of spam emails a day. A while back, several folks this guy included decided to give their email address and password to some unsavory websites, then did it again, and again, and again, so now they easily get 15 to 20 plus messages an hour to the entire organization. So he accepts, saying he just wants all his emails to go to him. We allow all messages to him to bypass the spam filter. 3 hours later, he has over 100 new emails, and they keep coming in. He calls back, furious, asking why his spam filter isn't working. Sir, you asked that all emails addressed to you arrive at your inbox. Update. So right around 4:45 p.m. today, he's calling our office and the call gets routed to me since I own the ticket. He's livid, shouting so loud my co-workers on the opposite side of the room can hear him. Whatever you did to my email, I want it put back to the way it was. You messed up my email, and now I can't get any work done because my stupid notifications are going off every second. I calmly replied, absolutely. I'll go ahead and turn your spam filtering back on and all these emails will stop. Good. It's what you should have done in the first place. At the end of it all, nothing changed and he's happy. I love information technology work. To the few of you who have and the many more that will, seeing as how this picked up a little more steam than I was expecting, commented saying I should be fired. Please calm down. I'm lucky enough to be at a place that values their employees enough to know that we do not deserve the kind of verbal abuse this guy slings out. A lot of jobs I've been at would have handed me my walking papers the moment I didn't immediately cater to this guy's every whim before finding out what his name was. Between me and the security team, we told him at least 4 times that this exact thing would happen. And he said on a recorded line, I don't care. I take care of my customers and my bosses enable me to do a good job. I believe that's why our company is experiencing very good growth right now. Relax. Final update, I had to. I logged into our system this morning from home and listened to the recording. It's glorious. Here are the highlights. Security. So original poster tells me you're looking to turn off the spam filter. Client. I don't even get spam. I'm paying you people for something I don't need. Security. It's not an added cost, but you're not getting spam because you have a spam filter. If you turn that off, you're going to get flooded with spam emails. Client. I don't care. I've given you guys an order, and I expect it to be done. Security. I just need you to be aware that without the spam filter, You're open to getting every spam email that comes to you, some of which may be malicious and could open you up to viruses, malware, and all sorts of software that could compromise your entire network. By going against our suggestions, you understand that our company cannot be held liable for any malicious software that makes it onto your network, infects any of your systems, or causes any system downtime, and that you are claiming sole responsibility for that. Do you understand this? Client: yeah, whatever. Just get it done so I can get off this call. Security: sir, I really need to reiterate how much we cannot recommend this action. You're gonna get. Client: I don't care, do what I tell you. Security: okay, I'll have Original Poster remove you from the default spam rule, and you'll start receiving any email sent to you. Again, it's gonna be a lot. The spam filter actually does catch a lot of spam. Client: I don't care, just do it. Security: okay then. Thank you. Have a good day. Click. Update 1. I talked with security this morning. This guy has a history with us. Apparently, he's been told numerous times that if he calls our employees delinquent punks or any other form of verbal abuse, then the company will be offboarded immediately. Oh, these previous tickets with him are juicy. Update 2. Again, because promises are a pointlessly easy social contract to break, we're offboarding the company. Apparently, when he called back to talk to security about the whole thing, he called the tech a very inflammatory slur. Immediate offboarding. By the end of the day, they will not have an information technology company. This is huge. Update 3. Well, it's been a crazy day, folks. We offboarded the company despite the chief executive officer, not the chief financial officer, which was who this troublemaker was calling and asking us to reconsider. The chief executive officer of my company told their chief executive officer that these kinds of things are covered in our service agreement, which the chief financial officer had violated on numerous occasions, and our complaints had gone unaddressed. We are providing extremely limited service to them for a total of 30 days while they find a new information technology company, after which we will send over all our notes and configurations and wish them the best of luck. I'm glad we all could share in this little adventure, and I hope we can all do it again sometime. In the meantime, thanks for the rewards, the karma, and the comments that had me laughing. Good night, everyone. Story 4. I was an English teacher in Moscow. At the beginning of the school year, I asked for a week of time off around a holiday so I could travel some. I got denied, so when the week came around, I was pleased that most of my classes had been canceled because the students had the same idea I had and were all going on vacation. I got an email from the administration stating that I was to cover classes for another teacher who was taking vacation for the week I had asked for. So I was already a bit upset that they'd approved of him, but not me especially since I'd asked for it like 5 months ago. Anyway, I accept the hand that was dealt and start preparing lessons. The day of the first class, I left home a few hours early so that I had plenty of time to make sure I could find the place. It was at a location I'd never been, and that I had all the necessary equipment I needed to teach the lessons. It was pretty easy to find, but when I rang the bell, there was no answer. I had some time, so I went off to get a snack. I come back to the school about 30 minutes early and ring the bell again. No answer. I tried calling the school's administrator. No answer. I tried calling the administrator who assigned the classes. No answer. For over an hour I rang the doorbell and called multiple times to no avail. My contract stated that I had to wait 30 minutes for students to show up before I could leave. So at the 30-minute mark, I sent a text to all parties that read something along the lines of, "I was here on time." I waited a half hour after the scheduled time, but nobody answered the door. I'm going back home. It will take me 20 minutes to get to the metro. If you call me before I board, I will turn around and come back. When I got home, I got a call. Where in the world are you? At home. You have a class. I'm aware. I was there and nobody answered the door. I called and nobody answered. I also left a text. Texting is not an approved form of communication. Now, this was before I had a phone with a data plan. So text was the only way I could message someone. They tried docking my pay for this, but when I told the owner what had happened and showed him my call logs and the text I left, he made sure that didn't happen. Fast forward a few months. I'd been having a lot of issues with the administration, so I'd become an expert on the finer details of our contract. One of those details was that the administration couldn't assign a class with less than 72 hours notice. So when they called on Saturday to give me a class for Monday, I told them no. Again, they tried to dock my pay. The owner sighed at me and told me I was right. My favorite part, though, was receiving a text that said I was to teach a class on a given day. They made special mention of the 72-hour rule. I ignored the text. When the time for class came around, I got another call. "Where in the world are you?" "At home." "You have a class?" "No, I don't." "I sent you a text. I have it saved." Texting is not an approved form of communication.